The next headline comes from the economiccollapseblog.com, and the headline says, as Russian tanks move towards Ukraine, the globe braces for the possibility that World War III could soon erupt. At this hour, more Russian military forces are massed near Ukraine's border than we have ever seen before. Western military leaders say that they are concerned that the troop movements that we have witnessed in recent days may be leading up to an invasion. And if an invasion does happen, it will greatly test the resolve of the Biden administration, the European leaders, and NATO brass. In particular, the hawks in the Biden administration would almost certainly not be willing to just sit back and let the Russians conquer all of Ukraine. There would likely be a major response by the United States, and that would set off a chain reaction that could ultimately spark World War III. So what made Russia suddenly move a massive invasion force towards Ukraine? All right, and before I continue with the article, I do want to say the Western media, it is making it look like Russia's the aggressor. Okay, they're making, you know, the words they're using, you know, the propaganda, the keywords that they're telling the American people, you know, the ones who are kind of reporting on this, they're saying that Russia is the aggressor, that Russia is the one, or are the ones who are getting everything in place to just take over Ukraine, but it's actually the opposite. Okay, in the next part of this article, we'll let you know just that. All right, this is what it says. Well, it turns out that the Ukrainian president Volodymyr Zelensky essentially signed a declaration of war against Russia on March 24th. The document that he signed is known as Decree Number 117/2021, and you won't read anything about it in the corporate media. Basically, this decree makes it the official policy of the government of Ukraine to retake Crimea from Russia. Of course, the Russian will never hand over Crimea willingly because they consider it to be Russian territory, and so Ukraine will have to take it by force. This is essentially a declaration of war against Russia, and Zelensky would have never signed such a document without the approval of the Biden administration. Following the signing of Decree Number 117/2021, we started to see Russian forces pour into Crimea and into separatist held areas of eastern Ukraine at a staggering rate. All right, so what I just read to you is really important because that is the reason why the escalation has started. On, you know, the buildup of forces has started, and the shooting has started because Ukraine pretty much are the ones who want to take Crimea back, and Russia's not gonna let that happen. Okay, even though it got annexed in 2024 by Russia, you know, they're claiming it, they own it pretty much, and they're saying they're gonna give it back. For Russia, there's their holy land. That is not something that they're gonna willingly just give up like that without a fight. And we know that Russia will kick Ukraine's butt very, very easily. The only thing that is really stopping Putin from doing anything, at least at this point, is that they know that NATO will get involved. They know that the United States is going to get involved, and that should concern you because that means that our troops are going to get involved, and now we're going to be marked for a nuke as well. Okay, that's what we have to pay attention now. Of course, Ukraine knows exactly what the heck is going on, and they know that they cannot take on Russia, you know, by themselves. So that is the reason the next headline is very, very important, because that is going to eventually make United States, NATO, and Ukraine cross the line for Russia to where they have to do something, you know, because if what I'm going to read to you in a second does come to pass, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to Russia. It's going to be a lot more difficult for Russia to have a successful plan that would have the least amount of casualties.
The Man-Made Survival Show.